Now you want to get your pen and paper ready because this recipe is delicious and super easy. Today I'm going to be making poblano cheesy corn chowder. Now my Ron said that he was ready for soups, so that's what I'm going to do today. Now I've got most of my ingredients right here. I'm going to be showing you what I'm using and the amounts as I go along. I'm going to start off with my corn. I have 5 ears of corn right here, and I'm going to start by removing the corn off the cob. Now I usually use a bowl when I do this. Otherwise, you're going to have corn flying around everywhere. Now, I don't have anything against frozen corn or even canned corn. You know, sometimes you just can't find fresh corn at the grocery store or at the markets. So you can use the frozen or the canned. But if you can find fresh corn, that's even better. Here it is. So now I'm going to set it aside. Now I'm going to cut up my bacon. I have 4 slices of thick cut bacon. And I'm going to cut them into like 1-inch pieces because you know that when you fry it, it shrinks up a little bit. And that's good, just like this. Now I've got my onions ready, chopped up real nice and fine. And here are my potatoes. I have 2 medium-sized russet potatoes. And I've cut them up like into 1-inch pieces like this. And I've got them in water so they don't get dark. And I have 2 poblano peppers right here. Now these were in the freezer and I took them out and they're thawed and ready to go. I usually roast them all and then I wrap them individually and then I put them in the freezer and they're always ready when I need them. Now if you don't have poblano peppers, you can use Anaheim or you can use bell peppers, whichever one you like. Now they don't just add color to the soup, but they look good and they taste delicious too. And that's good. Now I'm going to put all my chopped poblano peppers right here on this plate. Now I've got some jalapenos right here. These are jalapenos and carrots, pickled. And I'm going to put a few pieces of jalapenos in the soup. Now these are optional. I just like the jalapenos because they give it a really nice kick. And I'm going to give these a rough chop also. Now if you don't want to use jalapenos, you can use a little cayenne pepper or a little pepper flakes. Now I'm going to make my own broth. I'm going to add 4 cups of hot water in here. Now, if you have chicken broth in your freezer, like I usually do, you can use that. But I don't have any right now. So I'm going to be using Better Than Bouillon, which is delicious and just as good. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon and a teaspoon into this hot water so that it'll dissolve really nicely in here. And here's a teaspoon. Now this is going to dissolve really well while it sits here until I'm ready to use it. Now I've got some cilantro. I'm just going to cut off a nice big chunk like this and I'm going to chop it up because I'm going to be adding this to the soup. Now I like to get all my ingredients ready because then everything flows. So I'm going to clean up my area, take all of these ingredients to the stove, and we'll get started with our poblano cheesy corn chowder. So I'm going to be using this Dutch oven here, and I've got my heat set on medium. I'm going to add my bacon. Now I'm going to fry my bacon until it's nice and golden. It'll be about 5 or 6 minutes. Now as you can see, my bacon is golden and crispy, and I have been removing the excess grease. I left about a tablespoon in here because that's all I want. So now I'm going to remove it and I'm going to put it on this plate that I have lined with paper towels. I'm going to add my onions. I'm going to move these around until they get slightly translucent. So my onions are just perfect. Now I'm going to add my garlic. I have 3 large garlic cloves, finely minced. Let those flavors come in together beautifully like this. And that's good. Now I'm going to add my corn. And I'm going to add my potatoes. I'm going to add my jalapenos and my poblano peppers. I'm going to add 1½ teaspoons of smoked paprika. I'm going to add some pepper. You can add as much as you want. And I'm going to add a little salt. Now, since I'm using better than bouillon, I don't want to overdo it with the salt. So I'm going to add a pinch right now, and then I'll adjust it later. Now I'm going to move it around like this so that all the flavors can sizzle a little bit in the bottom. So I've given everything about 2 minutes to release its flavor. Now I'm going to add my chicken broth. It's starting to look beautiful. So now I'm going to replace my lid, and I'm going to wait until it comes up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, I'm going to lower the temperature down to simmer, and I'm going to wait until the potatoes are nice and soft. It could be anywhere between 12 and 15 minutes. So it's been about 13 minutes. Let's take a look. Looks beautiful. I'm going to check the potatoes. Oh, that's perfect. Now I'm going to use my immersion blender, and I'm going to blend it a little bit, which would be about half of the pot. You don't want to do the whole pot. Beautiful. I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. Now you can use heavy cream if you want, but I just feel like, milk is good. It'll do the job, but that's up to you. Now I'm going to add my cheese. This is Colby Jack cheese, and I'm going to add anywhere between 2 and 2.5 cups of this freshly grated cheese. I'm going to add some cilantro, and now I'm just going to stir it gently until the cheese is nice and melted. So my corn chowder is ready. Let's take a look. Now I let it simmer for about 5 minutes, and then I let it sit here for about another 5. Now it's time to serve. Yum. Now if you want it a little thicker, you can always add a little less milk. And if you want it a little bit soupier, you can always add a little bit more milk. Now I'm going to put some of my bacon up here on top. Now I'm going to add some cilantro, a little queso fresco. I've got some avocado, just a little bit more bacon. Look at this. Now we're going to be having this with some nice thick cut bread. This is some wheat bread that I had in the freezer. I just buttered it and I toasted it in the oven. Now it's time for the taste test. Oh my goodness, the flavor of the bacon and the sweet corn, together with the potatoes and all of these toppings are absolutely heavenly delicious. I know you're gonna love this recipe. So this is my Cheesy Poblano Corn Chowder. If you like my recipe, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment and tell me what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you.